Adeolu Adewumi-Zer, a global Nigerian and lifelong Afro-Optimist. She has a 25-year career spanning across 4 continents. With dual honors from Pennsylvania State University, she rose to the CEO of Alliance Nigeria, where she led mergers and acquisition and transformation across Africa. She grew Alliance African portfolio to nearly €500 million. At ZER Consulting Africa, she leverages her expertise to empower startups and social ventures. She also champions financial inclusion, gender equality, and education through board positions and other advisory committees.
Been so many gems, and I'm taking notes myself. So never think that you're ever too old or too experienced to learn. Some of it has already been expressed here, right? So Rosie went through some of it. You might have heard her mention impact investing, because it's not just, many people think about equity, particularly from VC funds. Some of my fellow panelists had mentioned that there is pressure that comes from taking equity and particularly taking equity from a VC fund. And there's also debt, right? But in many of the markets, Nigeria included, we're talking about double-digit interest rates. Do you really want to pay back credit at 20, 30, 40% interest rate? So, one of the places we can look at is impact investing. That's something that with the generational change of investors has become much more, has come up front in the scene. And impact investing is really around aligning profit with purpose and making sure that as an investor, where you put your money, you still want profit. You're not a nonprofit, but you still want to make your returns. But you invest in things that really align with your own values, whether it be around poverty, around education, around healthcare, etc. I personally, so if you heard of the SDG goals, Sustainability Development Goals, number 4, 5, and 8 are the ones that really align with my own values, and that's around quality education, that's around gender equality, and that's around decent work. So when I think about where I want to invest both my time and my treasure, this is where I focus my efforts. We all have 24 hours in a day. We also have some cap on our funds, and so we really need to focus our efforts. Another place is incubator programs, and I believe one of the panelists sort of hinted at this. And incubators or even venture studios, basically they assist startups and assist small businesses in basically refining your business ideas. So everything that you might come to a strategy consultant like myself, a management consultant, an incubator will provide this to you really pro bono as part of what they provide to the ecosystem. And many of them also even attach a grant to it. So you have incubators like the Co-Creation Hub here in Nigeria, also Orange Corners here in Nigeria, and $25,000, $40,000. You go through a 6-month, 12-month program. You learn how to build your business in a sustainable manner. And in addition, you get some quote unquote free money to build the business. And then a third area is maybe crowdfunding platforms, perhaps not as well known on the continent, but very well leveraged in the West, where basically you go to a crowdfunding platform, you talk about your problem that you're trying to solve, and then people from around the world have the opportunity to invest in that problem and invest in your business. And so crowdfunding has really then sort of democratized and access to market for many small businesses. You have Farm Crowdy here in Nigeria, you have Chenga in Kenya, Pan-African one is Better World. So again, impact investing, incubator programs, and venture studios and crowdfunding platforms would be the 3 areas that I would suggest to look. It's not just equity, it's not just debt. There are many other opportunities for funding within your business. For you, but you also need to be where your clients and your investors are, right? And I really like what Teniola had said earlier about doing the work, doing the research. to understand the investors that will relate with you, their investor thesis. Where are they, right? So they might not be on the street, but they might be at a particular conference. They might attend a particular webinar. So to be exposed to the investors that you're actually targeting, whether it's in the physical realm or in the virtual realm. So it's not about the platform. It's about being in the right rooms at the right time with the right people. And that is different for company A as opposed to company B. We shouldn't all be running as founders after YC or after the same big investors. There are many other investors who are actually in your space, whether it be healthcare, whether it be education, whether it be climate. It's not all fintech, as someone else pointed out. That all companies, all small business owners make is to be so focused on funding and capital that you forget that you have a business to run. And when you're building the right kind of business, when you're putting the right strategy in place, when you're doing the hard work of hiring the right people, when you problems are and looking to solve those problems, then naturally your business will make money. And investors love to invest in businesses that make money and are sustainable. Not everyone is looking, and I actually welcome the current funding winter, where investors are starting to, as Dolapo had mentioned, do a deeper due diligence and not just throw money at anything that walks. So, let's, as founders, as small business owners, as SME CEOs, let's do the hard work of actually building sustainable businesses that are solving problems for our continent, and the money will come.